Hello and welcome to Thrive. We are here in Cambridge. We have some special guests here this morning. We are going to be talking about the Louis Theroux documentary, Inside the Manosphere.
I just wanna thrive here, grow into my space and boom. Don't just wanna survive here. We're gonna see each other through. The world is for me and you. I just wanna thrive here, grow into my space and boom. Don't just wanna survive here. We're gonna see each other through. The world is for me and you.
Three wonderful guests here. We have Maz, Amanda Richards. We have Lucy Shepherd. And we have Ollie Stallen. Welcome all.
Thanks, everyone.
And welcome to you viewers at home. So we're going to be having our own discussion here. Please do post your comments if you've seen the programme Inside the Manosphere, and we'll bring them to the table later on. So over to you all here. The question for all of you, you've seen the programme, you've watched it. How did you feel? Were you shocked, or is it something that's not so new for you?
I was shocked. It blew my mind, really. I was like, really? Is that really something? And it was interesting to see other people's views.
Yeah, I was the same. I was quite shocked at how deep it actually goes, how far that reached, how many people are being influenced, and what that means for the next generation.
Right.
We really need to make sure that we teach them to change this mindset. So you're older. What do you think? These two are slightly older. You're from the younger generation. What do you think?
I agree with everything she said. I think it's true about how that can affect the generation. But interesting, I watched about halfway through and then
Why
I
is
went,
that?
oh. For me, it was a bit confusing to watch. And the way the men in the programme were talking, for me, I was thinking, they were saying this is just proof. There's videos that I've watched or there's evidence that I've watched. They weren't asking women about their views or how they felt. They were just filming the men who were saying all these problems with women or what's wrong with the women. It was a very one-sided view in my view.
Interesting question.
I was watching the documentary as it went through. I was thinking there were a couple of men and women, they were explaining about their views, but the woman was very much just there going, right, oh, okay. She wasn't really involved. I didn't feel she agreed reading her body language. I think she was a bit like, yeah, whatever.
Absolutely. Interestingly, actually, that you watched that and that you only watched halfway through, because there was something interesting at the end. Maz, what did you think? Anything? Well, at the end of all of it, I was a bit shocked at the end, because when the person involved in the filming, HS, when his mum was there, HS was a different person. He seemed to really change almost as soon as she walked in the room. You could see, and the mum kind of reprimanded him at one point, and HS kind of stepped back a little bit, stepped off his soapbox. And I thought that's just really interesting. That just shows that actually it's not fully there. That's really interesting, because Louis Theroux is well known, doing documentaries and filming and really getting that out there. And his programs are watched around the world. People are following him. So, for this, like you say with HS, that thing of actually seeing, oh, this is him in real life. This is him with his mum. I wonder whether viewers then saw that and thought, actually, we're not going to follow him because he's not practicing what he preaches.
I wondered that. And nobody told us if it affected the followers, if they pulled out, if they didn't like the real him.
Yeah. I think, people want to be involved in the Manosphere. Do they want that? I don't know if they do, actually. I think boys who watch that, do they want to be involved? Do they want to be important? I'm not sure everyone does. I don't know if they fully understand everything, but I think it's money, isn't it? It's the finances, it's the money that they were just really obsessed with. And it was talking about like where you're banking outside of the UK and what they're paying, these subscriptions that they're getting these boys to pay. And then he's looking at his bank account and saying, look how much I've got in my bank, 3,000 just from this morning. I've done nothing. I've just sat on my laurels. And young boys are the ones who are paying for him to do this. That's all there's nothing really to
Greed,
it.
I think. Interesting thought as well, with one of the people was saying that I really love him, I support him, he's great. And then a really big impact was about Andrew, the
Andrew
other person.
Tate,
Andrew
yes.
Tate, yeah, that's him. When they were talking about him, saying, well, we're all equal, we can be as good as him. And then he went to prison, I think, because he was trafficking young girls, supplying young girls. And that just made me go, hang on a minute, what? I didn't expect that. What's going on there? So there's a whole other side to it. And then you showed your true colours, I felt, in there. I was like, okay, this is not as innocent as it might have been.
Exactly. The boy then pulled out after that, didn't he, once he saw that he was actually doing this. So that's really good that they got that impact, that they do know that right from wrong. But this word, this term, manosphere, there is one sign. There's another one that I have a suggestion for. There is one that I've seen, this manosphere, because it's the man wants to be the centre of attention with everything revolving around him. It's all about me. So that's one sign. But from watching that program, there was one thing I noticed. All the different people that were being interviewed all held their hands like this.
Yeah, I spotted that too.
Yep, I agree.
Like a secret club, little handshake that they like to show, that you're all just subtly, they think, doing this to show that I am part of the manosphere. I'm one of the special club. I know the sign. Which was interesting for us all going, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know whether that could be a good sign.
Do they know what it means, was my question.
I mean, that's as well, isn't it? Like, you know, what community have created this? And if you're seeing people out there, you kind of see them standing there with that, you know that they're involved. So maybe actually it's a good sign to step away from someone if they're standing with their hands like that.
Maybe the women see the men doing the sign. And maybe, do they know? I wonder. And I mean, maybe everyone knows, oh, that's someone to keep away from. If they're doing that sign, that's not for me.
Before we carry on in that programme, before I gave you that programme to watch, had you heard of the Manosphere? Had you come across it at all before?
Not me.
Yes, because I knew about the Tate brothers. I knew about both Andrew and his brother. So I knew a little bit about it before, which in itself was quite shocking, what they were up to and how high up they are, how involved they are in the government, you know, and they're involved with Trump. And they're all the same, aren't they? All those men, they're all the same.
And that's what had the biggest impact on me. Just hang on, you're not just out there person, but you're really influential.
And that's really interesting because before COVID, I'd never heard of them.
No, never.
Not at all. And I think you're right. It's Andrew Tate. He was one of the first ones that we started to see in the news. And following Twitter, I saw comments and posts coming up on that and kind of things that he was posting on other people's. And it was so derogatory, so really discriminating and oppressive to women. And other genders as well, not just the female gender, really derogatory to all LGBTQIA queer communities, really oppressive.
And with Andrew Tate, I thought, oh, fair enough, you know, it's just him. He's just acting, he's mixing it up. He's saying all these things about women, he's being derogatory and discriminating against women, just kind of keep them at a distance. But the problem is, it's not just him. It's a lot of other evidence, a lot of people, but he's not directly involved.
On that point, what I don't understand is how haven't all been arrested and they're all in prison. Surely we can do that. But I think it's the money. Money talks. You know, how have they got to this level where they have influence within the government? If we were doing it, we would be in prison without a second breath. I think HS at the end, he did go to prison because he crashed and ran away. So yeah, when he landed in the country, he did get arrested.
That's right. He was on the run, wasn't he? He was away. But when he came back to England, I think it was a suspended sentence he got in the end, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And maybe they were waiting for court, no? Is that what they did come to a conclusion?
Well, they were in Romania, weren't they? The brothers were in Romania, and when they flew back here, they got arrested. And I think they're trying to make a decision now as what happens to both of them.
That's a bit disappointing, really. Imagine if I had a car crash and I ran away. What are you running from? You know you've done something wrong, you need to go to prison now. That's just the system. Couple of years, that's just how it is. I don't know why that wouldn't happen.
I agree. I think, the law here in the UK is if there's any death, if it's murder, it's over 11 years. If it's sexual assault, I think it's 6 or 7 years. Yep, 7 years is right. But he didn't do either of those two. It was a car crash and he ran away. So it should be a few years. I mean, that's the punishment. You've run away, as you say. But as Maz has said, money talks.
Yeah, a fine. If you're rich, that won't mean anything to you because you've got the cash. You'd be like, yeah, pay it, move on.
Mm-hmm.
But same as anything, you can just hide it under the carpet and sweep it under the carpet and carry on. But you should get reprimanded for it.
And then flying back into the UK, how do they know? I think they've got a system.
He was on the run, wasn't he? He went to Dubai, he went to America, he went to various countries. Mm-hmm. But then I wonder how he got back to the UK. I didn't realise that part of the story.
I think it was linked to mum. Yeah, it was mum. His mum came into Luton. He flew into Luton.
Wow.
No, Andrew Tate flew into Luton. I don't know about HS. No, and HS's mum is in Luton. So they went back to live with mum in Luton. But the father is American. Oh, that's why he can travel between the two.
That makes sense. Interesting.
We now have some comments from the viewers. There's Rachel, who said it's interesting the man or the men in the documentary didn't really have any male role models themselves. And that is a really interesting question to bring up. So where are the good, positive male role models for these boys? And that was interesting. Louis did manage to get that from all of them. They'd all had bad childhoods, no male role model.
I thought that as well, that there was some kind of trauma there. For me personally, maybe they've been through a bad experience, a bad upbringing, whatever, but for me, I don't think that's an excuse. My take on it is that doesn't matter. Okay, you might have had something traumatic happening. Maybe I understand it was a bad time for you. I can't remember one of them, but said, oh, but I had a bad upbringing, so it was their fault. I think that's not the point. You can break the cycle. You can break through the trauma.
Break the cycle.
And I think it's difficult, but you need to try.
They're using it as an excuse, aren't they? To say, now I'm strong. I'm this strong man now. I'm the role model for all these young boys, what a man should be and how men should behave. And that's the danger. That's really dangerous.
But at the same time as well, for example, HS, his mother was there and there was no father role model, but she was a strong female role model. She was there. She was strong, she was present, she would sort him out, basically.
But no father figure.
He can't say he didn't have a role model because he had her.
Another viewer, Matt, has said, when they're low and they have mental health issues, does this play a role in why men are attracted to the manosphere, whichever sign we want to use, but is it low self-esteem and mental health?
Mental health, good question.
And being lonely.
I don't think so. I don't think lonely is the reason. I think social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of those kind of things, TikTok, I think they scroll through and they get influenced by what they've said, people like HS. And then the children are saying, this is what I need to aspire to. This is what I should be doing. And they think that's the right way because there's nobody out there saying it's the wrong thing. Don't do that. Do this instead.
That's it, exactly.
So I think lonely isn't the reason. I agree, because if you're lonely, maybe there are other people around. There's no need to be lonely. I agree with you. It can be hard if you're lonely. I understand that. and you can get sucked into other things, possibly Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You just read it all the time. You can become a bit obsessed. But you need to break out of that as well. I agree with social media. You sometimes see people who are doing a live maybe, who are explaining about something, and they don't think twice about spewing out whatever they're going to say. They don't think about the impact that other people are recording it and using that potentially to their advantage.
Okay, so you're saying they're not thinking twice, but these are men.
Yeah, that's true.
It's for attention. We have to remember, though, they are all men, and all these boys now have grown up with the internet. They don't know the difference. They think that's okay. They think it's okay and normal to just sit online all the time. That's their normality. Okay, so you have sons. You sit and watch a program with your sons. Do you watch programs with your son? So I have 3, and that's really interesting. And do you talk to your sons?
My youngest son.
So my younger son explains a lot of things to me. Some of his friends are the same as well. He's explained some of these things, and I didn't know. And other things about men within the film. I mean, I've watched different things, and it is shocking. It is more shocking than Louis Theroux's documentary, and that really worries me, because if I'm watching it, if I can find it, then what are these young boys who are sitting and doom scrolling and going down those rabbit holes? What are they finding?
They can take
And
it on board.
they think it's normal because it's the same content that they're seeing.
And they don't think it's wrong as adults. But they're a
Hold
different
on.
generation.
You're thinking older generations don't think it's wrong, but you think it's wrong.
I do. Maybe for people under 20, maybe, they think HS is modern and a great example. I mean, maybe age doesn't matter, but they see other people, and maybe they think adults are very old-fashioned. Maybe they think social media, phones, laptops, that's what it is, but it's all kind of made up, really.
What about you, Lucy?
My son's watched it before, so he knows all about the Manosphere, and he's aware of Louis Theroux as well. Before, put it on pause and then talk about it with me afterwards. And it was interesting to hear his views. He doesn't like that sort of thing. He doesn't think HS is right. He finds he's just obsessed with money. So he doesn't really support those values. But he thinks basically HS is dick, is what he said.
I think rich men, that's what they want. They want the same. They want to be the same as these rich, wealthy, powerful men, which is what they're showing themselves to be. We've got a comment here that's come in. A different Rachel who says, I'm really pleased this documentary has been made. And actually after that, a lot of the women left those men because they recognised their own worth.
That's a good thing.
That's really good.
And that was a worry for me when I was watching. I thought my son would be thinking, oh, I believe in what they're saying. And actually his reaction was, no, they're wrong. What are they talking about? And I was pleased to see that I'd raised him well and he'd thought about it for himself. And he was showing respect and viewing the women as equals. So I was pleased to see that, rather than some of the attitudes of the men in the film. They were thinking women are just there to clean up after them, look after you, various chores for the women to do, and they had to hold on to them for that reason. Go off and clean your house, that's your job. But my son was like, no, I'm not happy with that. And that was a relief to me, so that was good.
So my question, I mean, you've got 3 boys and you've got 1 son. Did they have male role models when they were growing up?
Mine did.
Yeah. So that's possibly why they haven't gone down that.
At the same time with the boys, maybe they didn't have access to the internet at that point because it wasn't there when they were little. I mean, they had a phone maybe when they were about 11 or 12, something like that. But at that time, there wasn't a YouTube. There weren't clips available all the time.
There wasn't reels all the time. So I'm lucky.
They weren't influenced in the same way. But now it's very different.
Maz, did you want to comment?
I separated from my husband.
But the weekend when they would be off with them, they were strong, they were fine, they were beautiful. But I don't know. I mean, he was a great, strong role model, but I don't think it's an excuse for people to use. Whether you've got a single parent, I don't think that's an excuse. There's a really interesting comment from an anonymous viewer. It looks like, what does healthy masculinity look like today?
And it's rare to find that. What is this concept? From my experience of most men we've seen in this type of thing, they're just being a bit of a prick, really, is my view. But
not all. Not all
not
men.
all the men there are. No, I'm not going with that. But
some.
But it's rare to find a man with a good heart who wants to take care of them. I understand some of that. They want to take care of the woman. Some of them want to help by doing the work. But it's not, you do that. You do these jobs I don't want to do. Come on, wife, do all the horrible things.
Well, my brother and my father are very respectful of women. They help with everything at home.
Very lucky.
I think maybe it's the Hindu religion. We have so many female gods within the Hindu religion that the philosophy of Hindus is, we pray to female gods. So we treat females with respect.
I would say historically, there is a bit of an idea that women should be at home, cleaning, looking after the house. That is their work. I mean, there's this whole thing we go back to about the vote. Mm-hmm. That was mentioned in the documentary, that women shouldn't have the vote. They shouldn't be allowed it.
Yeah.
Which was quite extreme. But I think things are better now than they used to be for women. But
so thinking about that question, the manosphere. So social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, should they be under government control so that things that are this negative could be removed? I mean, interesting you say, Amanda, that it's kind of normalised for people to just sit and watch all the reels, and maybe the government think that's the same, and maybe they don't know how they'd actually deal with it.
If they tried to control it, imagine they'd be trying to change it all the time, trying to take posts off. It's impossible to monitor it, really. And also, there's only a few people. There's so much out there.
But if there's a subscription, they could explore subscriptions. If millions is going to one person, surely they could explore that. I mean, Louis Theroux caught stuff just in his documentary. Why are the government not looking at these subscriptions that are being set up on these social media platforms? I agree. TV adverts have rules. We have rules for how you advertise and what you can advertise on TV. Why is it not the same in social media on these platforms? Children are watching these things for free, and a government are allowing that to happen. It's appalling.
I agree with that point. We follow the rules. We're used to it from when we're little. When you go to school, when you watch TV, you just knew what happened, and you knew that part of growing up is that when you hit 18, you have to go to work. You finish school first. And there's just things that you had to do, and health things that you have to go to hospital, have blood tests, that kind of thing. But why does social media not have the same controls?
Can you give us any more examples of what healthy masculinity would look like then?
Looking after your partner, treating them as an equal, understanding each other, rather than always thinking of yourself.
Sharing roles. If a woman wants to do this, fine, you do that. If a man wants to do this, then fine. You share those roles, you share the responsibilities, you communicate, you talk, and you make sure you understand each other. It's not bullying. It's not, I want to do that. This is my lane. I do this. That's your lane. Stay in it. Not at all. It's communication. It's important that you talk and share.
Share responsibility as well for money and spending, and you've got a home. You have to share everything.
Yeah, I mean, masculinity doesn't have to be this big butch man. That doesn't have to be what it is. It's important that you're open.
I think also the view of I work, I do something worthwhile, you just do the cleaning. It needs to be changed and should be more equal. So at the weekend, I saw my brother, for example, he was doing the ironing, needed it to be done, so we did it.
Wonderful.
What's wrong with that?
It's interesting, isn't it? Of course, you know, life relationships are influenced so much when you're growing up. Your upbringing would have been so different to mine, but it's learning the relationships, learning how to respect each other, and how you then take that into the next your adult life. And it's showing those positive relationships to the children now and how we saw them when we were growing up, because that's really important. Each family will have their own rules that they have for when you're going out into your own adult life.
I've just had a thought about that. So looking out for my friends and brothers and sisters. So there's brother, sister, parents. Maybe they teach, this is a man thing. You must be tough all the time. Boys don't cry, for example.
Oh, yeah, that's a very old-fashioned thing, isn't it?
And then for the females, so the sisters, they'll be going, no, it's all right to cry. It's fine. We'll help you. We'll sort it out. You're forgiven. So it could be the other way around. Why you can do both, you know. Sometimes it's the time for one, sometimes it's the other forever. But why can't the men cry? You've got to be tough the whole time. You've got to have a cold heart. What's that about?
Healthy masculinity, you're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to feel stuff. You're allowed to be heartbroken. You're allowed to be hurt. You don't have to hold it all in. That's a healthy way to allow yourself to have those feelings and share them with your partner, your siblings, your parents, your friends. That makes it healthy.
I agree, definitely. I think that's right. The feelings, you don't have to bottle them up. Let them out.
So
Talk
important.
to each other. I really agree. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Like you say, the phrase man up, that's quite an old phrase, but
now I look at that word, it's really harsh.
Yeah, I think that's a bad thing, definitely. Ooh, it doesn't help at all, and it can be hurtful as well. If someone were to say to you something had happened.
So if someone says you're lazy, if I look back at previous generations, you know, we've had the 2 world wars. Men were very heavily involved in the World War. And when they got home, obviously, yes, some will have come back with PTSD, of course. But their behaviour and how that has passed on to their children, you know, because of what they'd experienced at war. And we do have that now, but it's interesting that there's less involvement in army and the forces. It's interesting. What were the women doing when men were all out at war? They were doing the male roles. Yeah. They were doing the jobs. And then when the men came back, they're like, actually, I don't know how I feel about these women doing our jobs. Absolutely. Right. And so now I think there's this thing with the internet. It's so easy now to persuade the men. And it's the same as before. They're not happy with females coming in and doing the same as them. And if you look at companies, you look at CEOs, charities, there's more women now in those higher roles than there were before.
Yeah, so looking back, it was more men. For me, I hadn't realised that's quite surprising that there's now more women CEOs.
Well, from where I work, I'm seeing more females in senior leaderships. And I think previously men would not be able to accept that.
For me, I'm happy as long as you can do the job well. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm proud of you. Well done. You've got the skills. You've earned it. Off you go. Good for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your gender shouldn't matter as long as you can do the job. You should be able to have women and men. It shouldn't be, the first woman ever in this role to do this. I'm like, well, that shouldn't be a thing. Why is that not happened before? It's not something to be proud of. Like, come on, actually, this should have happened a long time ago.
I like equality. I think, why can't women do the same jobs as men? Sometimes they can do a better job of it. It just depends on the individual, their skills, their views.
Hobbies as well.
Yeah. Women can.
And salary-wise, dare I ask?
Oh, that drives me mad, the salary
Oh,
thing.
it's so different. Yeah, it's
Pay gap
still
is
not
still
equal.
very much there. Like for tennis, I think there's always the men's salary is way more for the champions of the tennis than it is for the women. It still is.
Same with acting. Absolutely. There's still quite a large discrepancy, and there's still
Interesting.
fighting for that. Wow. I mean, this has been such an interesting discussion just from one word, Manosphere. A really interesting discussion. I will maybe bring it back, but I'd like to change the subject now and move on to our next topic, which is non-binary, and this is the sign. We do have someone here, Ollie, who does identify as non-binary. And I think looking at this kind of stigma of the pronouns, he, she, they, them, could you clarify for us kind of and help to make us understand non-binary better, please?
Okay, that's a big request. So non-binary. There's a few people that you don't have to be a label. That isn't everything that you are. So basically, if you identify as they, them, he, she, anything, that's fine. That's all right. That's your choice. That's the person. Maybe you're male or female. So non-binary could be, I am non-binary. So maybe...
So I dress as more masculine nor binary. I don't like female clothes, but there can be a trans female who likes to dress quite feminine, but doesn't say I'm a girl. So you have to ask. You just say I'm a non-binary person, and that's it.
Okay.
That's really clear.
That is really clear. It's just
And
a
that's
choice
really
thing.
comfortable, isn't it? You're looking at who you are as a human. How do you feel?
But some people do get confused. Non-binary means in terms of sex and gender and sexuality, but not necessarily. I just see it as a person. Maybe you're lesbian, maybe you're gay, maybe... I mean, drag is slightly different, but maybe you're pansexual. I don't know the sign for that. Pansexual?
I think I've
maybe
seen this.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I've seen that. And that's about how you feel, who you're attracted to, what you like. Maybe you like men, maybe you like women. Non-binary is about yourself, your identity. How you identify yourself, and that's the difference.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You're right. We're not thinking about it as like a sexual orientation. It's about an identity and how someone sees themselves. And I'm guilty of habit at school. I remember being taught when I was in speech and language therapy, I would always say she, and I would always get confused with she. And that's really dangerous with non-binary as well. So it's that kind of thing of learning. It's she, he, they, what, you know, and it's they, them. It's really rare in the deaf community, isn't it? It's always, you know, deaf English. We use they a lot, but and we point a lot. And actually, a lot of the time, we could probably just save any offence by just pointing and not having a lip pattern.
My advice for everyone out there would be, if you say to the person, what is your identity? Or, for example, if you ask me, I would say I'm non-binary. So they'd be like, okay, so you don't have to freeze.
Don't be awkward.
Just, you can say, what's your non-binary identity? What's your pronoun? What would you like to be called? What's comfortable for you? Or... sometimes other people will be like, oh, I'm not sure. Non-binary, I'm not sure. Can you clarify? Is that okay? And some people it can be sensitive for them. That is true.
That's it. You know, the pronouns that we're used to, she, he, they, I think people can accidentally, naturally, maybe use the wrong pronoun and say she. I mean, for a non-binary person, how does that feel? I mean, yes, maybe some people who are more sensitive and just kind of are exhausted by having to repeat it all the time.
You're right. I have an old friend who's non-binary, and we're very different in our attitudes. For they are trans feminine, and that's their choice. My choice is to dress masculine, and they're quite sensitive about it. So for somebody who doesn't know, if they say, oh, she, about them, they get very moody. They don't like it. They didn't mean it. And then they explain, the other person's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't realise. But for me, if you mislabel by accident, most of the time I go, yeah, it's fine, whatever. If it keeps happening in the same conversation, I will say to them, remind them, no, come on. But if it's just a one-off slip, I'm not that bothered. It's fine. It doesn't matter, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's exhausting as well, isn't it?
And the concept, sometimes people, I just don't get it. I just don't understand. What do you mean? If I'm meeting them a lot, we could maybe have a long talk about it. If it keeps on happening.
So what about you two? Do you have any people that you know who are non-binary or any experience? Yeah, my best friend, they did have a daughter who now identifies as non-binary, and it's they, them. And it was difficult for the first year or two to really change that, having, seen their child grow up. But now I've got it. For me, I've seen them grow up, and they've always been identified as a girl, and now they identify as non-binary. I mean, they're a beautiful person. The way they dress, the way they present is beautiful. I mean, they're not very masculine, but just how they present, it is very, you couldn't actually tell a lot of the time. And everyone's different, and it's just adapting and ask.
That's the thing, I agree with that. I have a family member who's non-binary and transgender for them, but I'm learning as I go along. I'm not pretending to be an expert, but you learn every day.
It's
just
all
keep
a learning
trying,
curve.
using the right terms, practicing she, they, them. They changed their name in this particular individual's case as well, trying to get the new name into my brain and not the one that they were born with. It's quite difficult. Sometimes I do slip up, I make mistakes, but I'm still learning every day.
And we've got a question from one of the viewers. What's the challenge for non-binary people? What do they face? What's the biggest challenge they face?
Whoa, big question.
Be honest. Come on, we want to hear it.
I would say with birth certificate and passport ID. That's the biggest thing.
Interesting.
Because non-binary there isn't a space for it. I can't put that in. They have to say, are you male or female? What were you born as? And I don't like that.
That's right.
So I would rather have male, that would be my choice, than female, but that's from a personality point of view. But I have to say, yes, right, F for female, that's how I was born.
I guess these are the rules that have been in place for so long that there's no
That's true.
flexibility.
But for now things are all online and things, so maybe you're allowed to say non-binary.
You're allowed to say it with PIP, with Universal Credit. You can say you identify as non-binary, but then there's a thing that says, and what was your gender at birth?
And I would be okay with that, having how were you born at birth, that's okay. And then how do you identify as another box?
There's also boxes where you can say, I'd prefer not to say, aren't they? And I'd never thought of that.
I think that's becoming more common now. I think people are getting more used to it. The more we do things online as well. So there are more choice boxes available now. But can you have it on ID as well?
Well, I think so. Haven't changed it. Interesting. The next viewer's question, this has come in from Michelle, who said, my son's girlfriend prefers to be called partner.
Me too, yeah.
And I'm still learning to catch myself and not say girlfriend and say partner, but I'm learning.
So I have this too.
Like
so
fiancé.
People will say to me about my fiance. So will they say like husband or wife? What do you call your person? Some people will say wife, some people will say husband. But most non-binary people say partner, and that's the end of it. You don't need to specify.
Partner.
And if people slip, it's all right. That's normal. That's fine. It's a time of change. Like you said, you're getting used to it. It'll take time. That's fine. We fully understand. Same for my family. So they'll say something, and they'll introduce the person. Yeah, I understand. That's fine. It takes time. It took me time too. Some people don't bother, but just try and be natural with it. It's going to happen. That's fine.
I remember when I first met you, I mean, I didn't know you previously, so I've only ever known you as Ollie. So I think that's good for people now. They know you as Ollie, and that's quite easy. Same for you too. I think it's difficult for people who've known someone for a very long time and then they change.
That is hard. So there's some non-binary people. I'd say most LGBTQ people, they change their name. So some people say their dead name, their previous name, which would mean I've got rid of that name. My birth name is now no longer for me. It's dead to me. I don't identify with it. I've got a new one. This is the new me. And then carry on using that. So it can be very hard for people who've known you forever.
So does that mean you've changed on your birth certificate? You have?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah, deed
poll.
poll.
I changed it. So I've officially changed. So everything I have, my passport.
I think, is it 18 to change? You have to wait till you're 18.
Do it at any time, any age. Oh, okay. I thought you had to be 18. It did used to be, but not anymore. No, that's changed as well.
We've had one person interesting says, this has come from Georgia, said, how do you deal with aggressive people? I mean, has that happened?
It has happened, yes.
It can be a nice way. So what did you do?
So it's only happened once in my life, but so I have ADHD. I'm still learning to control my emotions, my anger. So some people will be like, no, non-binary isn't a thing.
One person said, it's non-binary. You're not non-binary. There's no such thing. You're a girl. That's an attitude problem, isn't it?
So I was like, oh, okay, fine, right, that's your view. So you think in an old-fashioned way, just toddle off, that's fine, I don't need you. For me, I am non-binary, the end, full stop. I need you out of my life, baby. I'm going to cut you off. I don't need that.
I would agree with that, absolutely.
Just to let you know, if that behaviour is not acceptable and that affects my mental health, it's detrimental to me. But for all my friends who understand their LGBT thing, it can be detrimental to their mental health as well. And for other people who maybe don't understand, it doesn't work for them.
Fully agree with you. I completely understand. For me as well, as someone with darker skin, you know, in India, people say, oh no, you're dark skin, you're not Indian. You're just because my skin is darker, I have.
And that's still, there's still people out
there. So I can empathise with that.
And the mental health impact of these things, it still can be quite bad for me. And I'm feeling a bit annoyed at the moment. For example,
there was a stabbing at Pride and, you know, this person died. So there's still a lot of negativity out there. And I just think because of how someone identifies, that's a hate crime, isn't it?
Yeah,
so you could have sued. That is a hate crime.
And now I would probably report, but then the police don't do anything about it. That's a problem. They're like, oh, okay, we'll note it down. It's a hate crime. Get on with it. So it's sort of a measure of how serious it is. And then does something bad have to happen for them to take it seriously? And your mental health can be going down and down and down and nobody does anything. Unfortunately, that's true. It has to be something dramatic like a death. It has to lead to something that extreme before anybody does anything. And then they want to sort it out, obviously.
So we've got another comment from Evie Lake. What brings you the most comfort of joy from your gender expression? trying to make sure I've translated that properly. So the way you express your gender, express your non-binary, what gives you the most comfort and joy?
I feel free. So I feel, looking back,
I did think about going down the route of transgender, but I didn't want to go down that route fully. That wasn't for me. That wasn't appropriate. I wanted to focus. I wanted to have my breasts removed, but I didn't want to change anything about my lower genitalia. And there are non-binary who can do that, or can do it the other way round, or there are people who want to keep their lower genitalia and want to add breasts. For me, I just felt free. For me, it's the freedom to just do what I want and be who I am. And there'd be people who would say, oh, you need to do this and you need to do that. So my grandparents, for example, they do accept me, but at the same time, they say, oh, give yourself time to think about it. I'm like, stop with that already.
So it's an identity thing for you, isn't it? That's
Yes. They say, oh, you can change again in the future. I'm like, just stop that.
Oh, it's a phase. Yeah. You might want
you'll
to change
back to normal. No, that's not what it is. It's definitely not just a change that I will change again. Yes, I have changed to be this.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing your personal story. I'm sure the viewers have found that really, really interesting, and I hope it's given people a greater understanding. I think that's really been lovely that you've shared that with us. So thank you very much.
No problem.
I'm really pleased that you've found your identity and you feel free. I think that's a brilliant thing.
Thank you. So that's quite deep 2 topics for us to tackle this Friday morning. So we're going to move on to a game. We've got a quick break where you'll have an advert from our sponsors, SignWow. Okay, so you might have seen this game on Instagram. It's called the Match Game. So you can see we have our 5 things here hiding in the box. So the rule is you 3 can work as a team. You have the same drinks there as we've got hidden here. You can take it in turns to try and match the drinks. So you can get 1 point, 2 point, or 0 points. So let's crack on. Who wants to start? Well, don't look at me. So we have to put them up and try to match them. Okay.
Just making sure those are lined up. There we go.
0. Oh!
Next.
Okay, go on then.
Mix them up.
you've got 2 points.
Ooh, that's okay. That's good. Right, my go.
So let's just move one at a time.
Oh, good strategy. Yeah, I see your plan there.
Hold on.
Oh.
No.
Leave it. Don't do that.
No,
Just leave it.
Just
So
move
we know
one
where
at a
we're going.
time.
So now, oh no,
No,
I want to
those-
switch those over as well. I'm going to have an extra go.
Okay.
Right, that's it now. Oh.
0 points.
What have you done?
Okay,
Right.
so move these back.
Yeah, I'm going back. What about these two? I think one of these, switch those over maybe. Try that. How's that? How are we doing?
1 point.
What, really?
I think
I
that
think-
one's there and that
yeah.
one's there.
And then those
Swap
two
these
change.
two.
What have we got now?
2 points.
Okay, so try that and that and that and that. Oh, what have we got now?
Oh, 2 points.
Oh, that one and that one I feel alright. So let's do this. How's that?
1
point.
point.
Oh, what now?
1
point. Okay.
Okay, so
So
far
far.
I know Lucasade is right.
Yes, I agree. We'll keep that one. Don't touch that, anyone. So let's switch
Swap
those.
these
yeah.
two.
Oh, let's try that. That. No.
Still just 1 point. Oh, wait, sorry. No, 2 points. 2 points.
Oh.
Oh, 2. So I
Right.
think it's these two.
No. We want to leave the Lucasade. You can't touch that.
Leave the tea.
Is that it?
Try that.
1
1 point.
Ah, that made it worse. Okay. Right, we'll
Okay.
put that back. Right, so let's try this then. That one there, that one there.
3 points.
Ooh.
Ooh.
This
Okay.
is getting closer. That one, that one.
2
2
points.
Oh, we've got worse. Okay, let's put that back then.
So
So
leave
leave the
that one. Leave
Lucasade.
that one.
Oh,
Oh.
what's going on here? Oh,
So you've got 3. So far you've got 3. Let's try swapping these two.
yeah, give it a go.
2 points.
Oh, we've got worse. Okay.
Okay, so those are back. Those are back.
That one's got to stay
So
there,
it's-
surely. 2
2
points. Oh, we're getting
okay,
worse.
no, that stays there then.
Right, let's put the monster there. That one
Try
there. That
this
one
one.
there.
2 points.
Oh, right. How many have we
How
got
many
now?
there? 3.
3. Okay.
3 points.
So that one and that one, we're fine with that one.
So those
I
two
think
swap.
those two
These
swap.
two.
2 points. No, we've got worse. No, there's 2 points. So the green
that
has
one
to go
stays
back.
there.
Yeah, leave the green.
Oh.
Lucasade, no, don't move the Lucasade.
No, not the Lucasade. I'm taking a risk. 2 points.
2 points. It wasn't that. Okay.
We had 3
points. Oh.
There's 1 point there. 1 point. Okay. So Lucasade's back there.
We've got to put it back. Come on.
3 points.
So it's got to
So
be.
is it these two?
Maybe.
Possibly.
I mean, could be.
Possibly.
Should we switch those?
2
Oh,
points.
right. Okay.
Okay.
Let's put that back there. So it's got to be you and you.
2
2
points.
points. Right. Put you back.
3
3
points.
So these
So those two, 3.
Oh, hang on a minute. Let's.
I think
that
these
one and
two
that
maybe.
One.
1 point.
It's got worse.
How?
Oh.
How?
I just don't know what happened there.
Okay, 3 points.
Okay.
Okay.
So
these
it's
two.
got to be these two.
Yep.
Yay!
All the sweat. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I lost count there. How many
How
times
many?
is that?
Oh, I'd have to go back and watch the video again. 10? No, more than that. 20 at least. Oh, I was crap at that. Thank you so much for the chat. I hope you enjoyed the game.
It was good. It was
Yes,
a good
thank
game.
you.
Good party game. I enjoyed that.
Thank you for coming this morning and for the great chat. I hope you viewers enjoyed it as well, the chat as well as the game. So thank you all for coming this morning. Thank you to you from home, and thank you to Sign Wow for sponsoring this. We will have a big tour around the UK with Sign Marks, who's a famous deaf rapper, and we will have Gavin Lilly as well. So there will be a tour because Sign Marks, it will be his last tour. His career as a signing rapper will be finished. So look on the Sign Wow socials and get your tickets booked. CDA now have a new event, a deaf-blind coffee morning taking place at the Peterborough Museum. It's the second Tuesday of every month. That will be 11 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you want to support deafblind people, do have a look on the CDA website and have a look at Get Support and support deafblind. Thank you so much for watching us today, and thank you to our 2 interpreters who've been voicing over throughout the session. We'll see you at the next episode. Bye.